Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tim's English channel. Today we are doing a really fun deep dive into a topic that, well, I think we all struggle with at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Habits. Breaking the bad ones and trying to start the good ones.
Right. But before we get into our source material today, which is a fantastic guide called Healthy Habits to Change Your Life, I want you to picture a scenario.
Okay, set the scene.
It is 10 p.m. You look at the clock, and you declare to your empty bedroom, okay, that is it. I am getting a healthy night of sleep tonight.
Very responsible. I like it.
Yes. You brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get into bed, and you just feel so proud of yourself.
Hmm.
But then somehow you look at the clock again, and it is 1 a.m.
Oh, no.
You are still awake, the screen is super bright in your dark room, and you are just endlessly scrolling through videos of cute cats knocking things off tables.
Yeah, I mean, we have all definitely been there. It is painfully familiar, and usually the next morning you just wake up feeling completely exhausted. So tired. And you are frustrated with yourself. You wonder, why do I keep doing this exact same thing when I promised myself I wouldn't?
Right. Why does that happen? And I think that is really the core mission of our deep dive today.
Exactly. We are going to dismantle that fake, perfectly perfect internet life we always see. You know, the influencers who wake up at 5 a.m., drink hot lemon water, and run 10 kilometers with a huge smile.
It is quite the illusion. The internet makes healthy living look so effortless. We see those videos and we just assume, well, those people must have superhuman discipline.
But they don't, right?
No, they don't. Today, we are tossing out that fake internet perfection. We are going to replace it with the messy, actual, real-life truth about how habit formation works in your brain.
And what I really love about our source today, Healthy Habits to Change Your Life, is that it is perfect for us here on Tim's English channel. It takes some fairly complex psychology, and it breaks it down into simple, practical steps anyone can use.
It really does. It is very accessible. But before we get into the big strategies, we should probably set a baseline. Good idea. Let's define our terms. When we talk about a habit, what are we actually talking about?
Well, simply put, a habit is an action you take automatically, without thinking.
Like brushing your teeth.
Oh.
I do not stand by the sink in the morning debating the pros and cons of dental hygiene. I just pick up the toothbrush.
Exactly. You just do it. The key word is automatic. Habits operate in a part of the brain that recognizes patterns. So, when you are lying in bed in the dark, you are not using the logical decision-making part of your brain to ruin your sleep.
Right, I'm not planning to be tired the next day.
No, your hand just reaches out, feels for the phone, and grabs it. It is an automatic loop. So our goal today is to pull those behaviors out of the automatic zone, look at them, and consciously build a routine.
And by routine, we mean habits that actually give you energy instead of just draining it away.
Exactly. Which brings us to the first huge trap the guide talks about, the trap of the big change.
Oh, I know this trap very well. This is when we suddenly decide we are going to be super healthy overnight. We make these grand declarations.
Right, the classic, starting tomorrow, I am changing my whole life.
Yeah. We say, no more sugar, no more bread, and I am going to the gym for 2 hours every single day.
Because we feel terrible about our current habits, so we just want to fix absolutely everything all at once to feel better.
But the reality is almost always a crash landing. By day 3, you are completely exhausted, your muscles hurt, you are incredibly hungry, and you are just in a terrible mood.
And the next thing you know, you are sitting on the kitchen floor eating a giant piece of cake, ready to give up on the whole thing.
Yes. But why? Is that just me lacking willpower?
Not at all. That crash is not a moral failure. It is actually biology. Big, sudden lifestyle changes introduce a massive amount of stress to your body.
So my body is fighting the change.
Yes. Human biology is designed to save energy and keep things exactly the way they are. When you try to pivot your entire life overnight, your brain does not see a healthy choice. It sees a dangerous loss of calories.
Oh, wow. So it thinks I am in danger.
Right, it triggers an alarm system. Your brain literally says, this is too much effort, this is a threat, go back to the safe, low-energy habits we know.
That makes so much sense. But here is where I struggle with the author's solution. The guide argues that to beat this brain alarm, we need to start with incredibly small micro-habits.
Yes, very small.
We are talking about things like a 10-minute walk, or just drinking one single glass of water before coffee. And I just think, if I only commit to a 10-minute walk, is that really doing anything?
It feels a bit useless, right?
Yeah, it feels like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. It is so small it almost seems pointless.
It feels pointless because we are taught that only huge, painful efforts get results. But that ignores how the brain actually learns. The power of a microhabit is not that you will lose 10 pounds from a 10-minute walk.
Right, that is definitely not going to happen.
The real power is that a 10-minute walk completely bypasses that alarm system we just talked about.
Oh, I see.
Your brain looks at a 10-minute walk and says, okay, that is safe. That does not cost much energy. We can do that. It feels doable, so you actually do it.
So you are basically sneaking the healthy habit past your brain's security guards.
You are. And the magic happens right after you finish. When you succeed at that tiny task like drinking that one glass of water, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine.
The happy chemical.
Yes, but it is really the learning chemical. It stamps that moment with a feeling of success. You realize, hey, I kept a promise to myself today.
Which completely changes how you feel. Instead of reaching day 3 and feeling like a failure because you missed a 2-hour workout, you reach day 3 feeling like a winner.
Because you successfully took your 10-minute walk again, you stack up the wins.
And that good feeling makes you want to repeat it tomorrow. I guess over time, that 10-minute walk naturally just grows. It becomes 15 minutes, then 20.
Exactly, not because you were forcing it, but because your capacity has naturally grown.
Okay, I really like that. But there's a gap here for me. Even if my goal is just a tiny 10-minute walk or just avoiding junk food for one night, I still have to use my willpower.
Ah, the willpower problem.
Right, and my willpower always abandons me exactly when I need it most, especially at night.
Which is why the source's next major concept is so important. The idea is to completely outsource your willpower to your environment.
Because we have this myth, right, that being healthy is just about having a strong character. Like, if I just try harder, I can resist the junk food.
But relying on pure willpower is exhausting.
It really is. It feels like trying to ignore a loud fire alarm ringing right next to your ear.
Yeah.
You might be able to grit your teeth and ignore it for a minute, maybe 5 minutes.
But eventually it wears you down.
Yeah, you cannot just wish the noise away. You have to physically get up and turn the alarm off.
That is a perfect analogy. Willpower is not endless. It is like a muscle that gets tired. By 8 p.m., you have made hundreds of decisions all day, and your willpower muscle is burned out.
So that is when our physical space, our kitchen, our bedroom, needs to take over.
Exactly. The guide shows that your physical surroundings dictate your behavior much more than your internal motivation ever could. It gives 2 very relatable examples: the chocolate dilemma and the phone dilemma.
Okay, let's unpack the chocolate dilemma. Let's say I leave a delicious bar of chocolate right in the middle of my kitchen table. If I walk past it 5 times a day, I'm going to eat it.
Of course you are. And the crucial takeaway here is that eating the chocolate does not mean you are a bad person.
It just means I'm human, right?
Yes, you are a human being, and we are highly visual creatures. If the chocolate is visible and easy to reach, the easiest path is just to eat it.
So trying to mentally fight the craving is just a waste of time. The author's rule is surprisingly simple. Make the healthy choice easy and make the bad choice hard.
That is the golden rule. You remove the need for willpower by changing the physical space.
So what do I do with the chocolate?
You put it in a dark container on the very top shelf of the pantry. Or, even better, you do not bring it into the house from the grocery store at all.
You just kill the habit before it even starts.
Mm.
Okay, let's apply that rule to the phone dilemma. This is the universal struggle.
It really is.
If the phone is on my nightstand, it's easy. I will grab it. How do we engineer the environment to make that bad choice hard?
You introduce physical distance, you take your phone charger out of your bedroom completely, and you plug it into the kitchen wall.
Oh, that is so simple but so brilliant. Because let's walk through it. It is midnight. You are in bed. The blankets are perfectly warm. You are getting sleepy.
But then you feel that familiar urge to check your messages.
Right. Now, if the phone is next to the bed, I just reach out. Bad habit completed. But if the phone is charging in the kitchen, fulfilling that urge is a huge project.
It is a massive project. To get the phone, you have to throw off your warm blankets, stand up in the cold air, walk down the dark hallway, and stand in the bright kitchen.
Just to check a notification. When you are tired, your brain does a rapid calculation. It weighs seeing an email against walking to a cold kitchen.
And suddenly the brain says, you know what? It is absolutely not worth the effort.
I love that. The environment did all the heavy lifting. I didn't have to flex my tired willpower muscle at all.
You just made the bad choice too physically difficult to execute.
Okay, the mechanics of that are great, but I want to push this a layer deeper. Because look, if building healthy habits is just about small steps and moving our phone chargers, why is self-sabotage still so common?
That is a very fair question.
Because even when I know these rules, even when I hide the chocolate, there are days where I will literally put on a coat and walk in the rain to the store just to buy junk food. Friction doesn't always stop us. Why do we still actively crave these bad things?
That brings us to the most nuanced part of the guide. Unhealthy habits are rarely just about the fact that sugar tastes good. When friction fails, it is almost always because the bad habit is tied to emotional regulation.
Emotional regulation. Let's break that down for our English learners. What does that actually look like in our daily lives?
Think about how you feel after a really stressful day. Maybe your boss was demanding, the traffic was terrible, and you just feel overwhelmed.
My nervous system is basically on fire.
Right, you are full of stress hormones. In those moments, your brain is desperately looking for a way to turn down that stress. It wants comfort. To the brain, comfort means safety, relaxation, and feeling good fast.
That resonates so much. On days like that, the last thing I want to do is stand in the kitchen chopping vegetables for a healthy salad. I want the fastest, greasiest food I can find.
Because you are actively using that food to forcefully change your emotional state.
And the guide calls this the pursuit of fast comfort, right?
Yes, fast comfort. Fast food, refined sugar, or just scrolling on your phone until 2 a.m. They are incredibly effective at giving you a quick distraction. They numb the stress instantly.
But there is a huge catch. Fast comfort is a trap. You eat the huge meal to numb the stress today, but tomorrow you wake up with a stomachache, feeling heavy and tired.
Or you scroll on your phone to avoid your anxieties, but the next day you are so sleep deprived that your problems are much harder to deal with.
So fast comfort basically borrows relief from tonight, but it charges a huge tax on your energy tomorrow. It drains your capacity to handle life.
It is a terrible trade-off.
So if we are caught in that cycle, what is the way out? How are we supposed to handle overwhelming stress without reaching for fast comfort?
The author suggests a specific intervention. The next time you feel that stress and your hand reaches for the bag of chips or the phone, force a 5-second pause. Just wait 5 seconds.
Okay, and what do I do in those 5 seconds?
You ask yourself one simple question: what do I really need right now?
What do I really need right now? That is a powerful question. Because if I honestly listen to my body, the answer is never. I need a giant bag of salty potato chips.
Exactly. When you check in with your actual needs, the answer is usually very fundamental. You might realize you just need physical rest.
Or maybe I need to step away from the screens and take a hot shower to relax my muscles.
Or just call a good friend and talk about the frustrating day you had.
I have found that sometimes just stepping outside, looking at the trees, and breathing the cool air for 5 minutes resets my stress much better than a phone ever could.
Because all of those things are examples of true comfort. True comfort doesn't just numb your feelings, it actually replenishes your energy. It gives back what the stressful day took away.
That is such a great distinction. Fast comfort drains you. True comfort replenishes you. All right, let's bring all of this together with a final major concept from the guide. And I think this hurdle derails more people than anything else.
Yes. The necessity of self-compassion.
Being kind to yourself, it really is the glue that holds all of this together. Because no matter how small your micro habits are, and no matter how perfectly you design your kitchen, you are eventually going to have a bad day.
You are going to make a mistake. You will fall back into an old pattern. It is inevitable.
Oh, without a doubt. And I am the poster child for the all-or-nothing mindset. Let me know if you relate to this.
I probably will.
I make a perfect plan to eat healthy from Monday to Sunday. Monday is flawless. Tuesday is great. But Wednesday, work gets crazy. I skip my walk, and I eat a donut in the office.
And what does your inner critic say?
My inner critic immediately yells, well, you completely ruined it. You have zero discipline. This whole week is a total waste. You might as well order a large pizza tonight.
That is the perfectionism trap right there. We hold ourselves to impossibly strict standards. We treat one normal human mistake as proof that we cannot change.
And the sad irony is, beating yourself up just creates more stress. And what does the brain do when it is stressed?
It seeks fast comfort. So punishing yourself over a donut practically guarantees you will eat the pizza later.
Exactly, which is why the source provides this wonderful mental model. They call it the Wednesday cake protocol.
I love the Wednesday cake protocol. It is profound because it is so simple. The author asks, if you eat a massive sugary piece of cake on a Wednesday, what do you do on Thursday?
And the answer is so liberating. You just start again.
You just start again.
Wake up on Thursday and you drink your water. You do not punish yourself by running extra miles. You do not look in the mirror and call yourself a failure. You recognize that you are a complex human being, not a robot.
If we look at the big picture here, building a truly healthy life has nothing to do with being perfect. Perfection is a myth that keeps us stuck.
A healthy life is built on making good choices most of the time.
Most of the time. Because if your routine requires you to execute painful discipline every single day, you will eventually quit.
The human spirit just cannot sustain that. But if a habit is small enough to be easy and your environment helps you do it.
And crucially, if you forgive yourself when you stumble,
Hmm?
you can maintain that trajectory for the rest of your life.
You completely remove the dread and anxiety. You ate the cake on Wednesday, you enjoyed it, it is over. On Thursday, you just take your 10-minute walk.
The momentum continues.
That is a wonderfully healthy way to view personal growth. All right, as we wrap up this deep dive on Tim's English channel, let's distill this into the core takeaways for everyone listening.
First, abandon the massive overnight overhauls. Start ridiculously small with micro habits to safely build your momentum.
Second, stop relying on willpower alone. Change your environment to make positive choices easy and make the bad choices hard.
Third, when stress hits, beware of fast comfort that drains you. Force a 5-second pause and seek out true comfort that actually replenishes your energy.
And finally, throw away the perfectionism. Practice self-compassion. When you slip up, and you will just calmly start again the next day.
When you lay the mechanics out like that, it really demystifies the whole process, doesn't it?
It changes it from some kind of magic down to very manageable science. Now, before we go, we always like to turn the framework over to you, our listeners. We have a guiding question we want you to think about.
Yes, take a look at your own daily routine. Based on what we explored today, what is one single small healthy habit that you want to start this week?
And please, lean into the rules we discussed. Keep it absurdly small. Do not decide to run a marathon tomorrow.
Please don't. Maybe your micro habit is just drinking 1 glass of water. Or simply moving your phone charger out of the bedroom. Just pick one tiny variable.
And as you decide on that one small change, we want to leave you with a final thought. We live in an attention economy. Massive tech companies and snack food corporations spend billions of dollars every year trying to hijack our attention and trigger our stress.
They want you distracted and consuming their fast comfort. They engineer their products specifically to keep you hooked.
That puts a very stark perspective on what we are fighting against every day.
It does. Which means that choosing to design your own environment, making the conscious decision to support just one tiny positive habit for your own health, is not just a basic self-help tip.
It is something bigger.
It is an act of quiet rebellion. It is you actively taking back control of your mind, your attention, and your life from a system designed to extract it.
An act of quiet rebellion. Taking back control, one 10-minute walk, and one relocated phone charger at a time. I love that. So the next time 10 p.m. rolls around, you now have the tools to ensure you actually go to sleep instead of being hypnotized by a screen.
You really do.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive here on Tim's English channel. Keep questioning those automatic loops, design your space to serve you, and most importantly, be kind to yourselves out there. We will catch you on the next one.